Welcome, everyone, to another edition of Deconversion Stories. And today I have the pleasure of chatting with my friend, do you pronounce it Uhaan or Uhaan?
Depends on who's saying it. Thanks to John, or Godless Engineer, became Uhaan.
Became Uhaan. Okay, Uhaan Rodric is in the show tonight, the guest of honor tonight. Uhaan, what I usually do around here, and by the way, I actually spoke with Casey earlier and mentioned that we do an after party for these things, and they're welcome, of course, to jump in for that. But she doesn't do these sorts of things anymore, as you probably already know. But John might, so maybe he'll pop in and say hi. I'm pretty sure he probably will. But anyway, what I do here is I chat to people about their journeys away from whatever belief systems they were once a part of, and kind of the ups and downs and where that ultimately led them to or ending up, like relationships with family, friends, that kind of thing. So that's basically what I like to start with. It's like, take us on that journey, take us back to when you were in a belief system and how you have ultimately found your way out.
Well, the funny part is I've actually been secular since birth.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
Well, folks, it was great talking to you today. No.
Yeah.
No. All right. Well, in these sorts of cases, and you know what? I remember you mentioning something about that actually in the past. So what I generally like to do is talk a little bit about the religious influences that may have been in our lives to sort of try to persuade us. Did you ever go through anything like that?
No. I actually only got into the whole atheist scene when I was 30, which was 6 years ago.
Okay.
That basically was because I got married to someone who was an active Jehovah's Witness.
Oh, boy.
So that was a little fishy. That started me digging and digging and digging. I ended up on Lloyd Evans, John Cedars.
Yep.
Watching Atheist Experience. From there, started watching a show that I'm not going to name. Thanks to Mr. Boomer. But then that's where I met John and KC. And I've been kind of hanging out there ever since. Right
on. I think I know the show you're referring to, but I won't mention it either. What kind of like how did you end up like becoming like friends with John and Casey?
Basically it just started like being just like one of the people in the chat. Mm-hmm. And then I joined their little group called the Skeptic Mafia, and they have like this little room in the Discord where kind of talk a little more personal with people. And I mean, I just started, actually I should go back. Like, I got together with that Skeptic Mafia. We made a little video for John, just like a little appreciation video, kind of surprised him live on air. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, and I started doing some director's cuts for him. So you might see on some of his channel, like some of the director's cuts. So actually have me as the editor.
Nice.
Basically, the ones with way too many memes in them are the ones that I did.
Now, when you say way too many memes, what do you mean?
Like you'll see cutaways to like The Office, like every couple seconds. That's probably me who did it.
Okay. You're talking about the TV show, like the British version or the American version?
The American version.
Okay. Because I think the British version had what's his name, Ricky Gervais or something was in that, was he not?
Yeah.
Have you seen both of the series?
I'm gonna get crap for this, but no, I've only seen the American ones.
Oh, okay. So I hear they're almost like equally as funny. So I haven't seen either. I never actually got into either show, to be honest. But I just know, the memes, of course, that have been hitting the internet and whatnot. Did you ever have any like friends or relatives that were religious at all, or anything like that?
Well, growing up, I did have, my grandma is actually a Jehovah's Witness.
Okay.
And so one of my aunts and uncles are as well. So I didn't know what it was when I was a kid. I used to like sleep over at my grandma's house, and then I'd actually end up in a Kingdom Hall the next morning, and I had no idea what was going on. Like I'm just falling asleep in a room with no windows. And to make it worse, it was a Spanish-speaking congregation.
Oh, boy.
Okay. And I'm Hispanic and don't speak Spanish.
Really?
So, yeah. So as a little kid, no idea what people are saying, no idea what's going on. I'm just sleeping. But they...
That strikes me as hilarious. So did they ever drag you on the door-to-door knocking or anything like that? Or
No, thankfully, no. I don't think that would have worked out.
Now you're saying that your wife, are you still married?
Yes.
Okay, and your wife is still a Jehovah's Witness?
No.
Okay, so how did she ultimately find her way out of that?
She never was really completely in.
Okay.
So it's one of those, like, it's crap, but it's one of those organizations that once you leave, your family gets ripped away from you.
Yeah. Oh, I'm aware of that. That's for sure. I've had quite a few on the show, and I got to tell you, man, those are some of the more heartbreaking stories. I think is when you're so ensconced in a belief system that you're actually willing to throw away family members. It's like just brutal as fuck to me.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
I myself was actually born to a Christian couple, although they weren't married at the time. I was conceived I like telling this actually. I was conceived in the backseat of a 57 Chevy Bel Air hardtop. Pretty badass. So, but I ultimately found my biological folks. They ended up getting married and they had 2 more kids after that. But yeah, they're both Christian. And this is one of the things I always bring up when we talk about, is God real and is Jesus the right way to follow? And I said, well, how come I was born to Christians, but raised by Jews if Jesus is the correct path, right? Like, and they try to blow off some ridiculous answers and whatnot. But I'm like, you know what? It doesn't make sense because if Jesus really is the right way, then I'm pretty sure your all-powerful deity would have made sure that I was raised in the correct belief system.
Right.
But no, well, he's testing you. He's testing me? I didn't even get a chance to study. What are you fucking talking about? Hi, Casey's in the chat. Hi, Casey. Yeah, we were talking a little bit earlier. Casey and myself were talking a little bit earlier on how the atheist community has kind of become so splintered, and there's so many toxic factions that are getting the limelight right now, and really, it's shining a horrific light on the rest of the communities that are really trying to better the community.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any thoughts on that kind of thing? Like, have you come across these sorts of things where there's been divisive actions going on?
Yeah, I've definitely noticed all that the last couple months. I stay out of it.
Yeah.
Me too. I usually hang out in the background.
I mean, unless it's something that I need to speak on, I generally just kind of steer my way away from that shit. Because I don't want to be like looped in with that, because what I do here on this show is I try to bring people together, by introducing folks to atheists they may not know. And you do what you do for John and other shit that I've seen that you've done before, like especially on your other YouTube channel that you do. And I had the name seconds ago and it just fell out. Not your personal
the trivia
channel.
one?
Yeah, the one. But what did you name it? Because it's bugging me now.
The trivia one is bragging rights.
That's it, bragging rights. That's the one I was trying to think of. By the way, folks, I do have both his personal and the trivia bragging rights channel listed below as well, if you want to go check those out, and also his Twitter, so you can stalk him there too if you like. But yeah, man, and I've seen some of the stuff you do on there, and you do great work. And I've been tempted myself to kind of ask you if you take commissions and stuff like that, because there's lots of shit I could probably have done if you're up for it.
Yeah, I'm actually starting to look into that kind of stuff.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, let me know, because I have some ideas in my head that I think I'd love to have your touch on it. So that'd be really cool. Yeah, Caitlin says that bragging rights trivia is so fun, and from what I've seen of the episodes I have seen, it sure as fuck looks that way.
Yeah,
I just don't know how good I'd fare.
It's pretty much who can beat Dave. That's what it's turned into.
So really, so it's a let's beat Dave now.
Yeah,
that's rigged, and Dave is a cheat. That's what Amanda says. Oh, look, Amanda, my hair is waving. She always says hi to my hair, but never me. All right. Well, so with your wife's family, are they still really religious?
Yeah.
How do you do they ever confront you? Like if you go over there to her parents' place or something,
they basically don't exist.
Oh, really? So they've really pushed that far where she's now completely out. Wow.
But the messed up part is I can talk to them if I want.
What?
Because I was never anything.
Wow.
I'm not an apostate. I'm not anything.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, clearly if you never were a believer, then you can't be an apostate. But I find that utterly bizarre that they'll talk to you, but they won't even talk to their own daughter.
Yep.
So if they have messages for her, do they go through you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow. Do you guys have kids?
No.
Okay. Because that was kind of going to be my next question. If you did, I was going to say, well, what do they do about the kids?
Yeah.
Because you'd think that, like, when they cut their own daughter off, that in my mind would mean they would just cut everyone off. But if they're using you as a sounding board for getting through to her, that's just blows my mind, man. Honestly, it does.
I've had it out with them too. Like, because even after I've had it out with them, they still talk to me. Like, she's tried to present them the same information I am, but they'll talk to me about it, but not her. Like, I basically have the entire library downloaded on a hard drive, like Shepherd the Flock of God and all that stuff.
Wow.
Like the Elder's Manual, and I bring all that out, and they're stuck.
Have you ever spoken with them about the possibility that, like, why do they believe, and have they ever thought about not believing? Have you ever had those kind of conversations with them?
Yeah, I think I've pretty much approached it from like every angle I could think of.
Really?
Like to ask questions, point out the crap, point out the legal crap, point out the abuse, just try to reason and rationalize with them. And
wow. And they just won't have it, eh?
No.
Cognitive dissonance, man. Unbelievable. Yeah, I run into that myself, day to day when with family members and stuff too, that I've surprised many of them. Oh, we didn't know you were a non-believer. I'm like, well, yeah, this should have been obvious for years now. I walk around with t-shirts like this, God, I'm an atheist, right? Like, does that not give it away? But they'll still try and say, well, maybe you should just come back to synagogue and listen to the word and all that nonsense. And it's just like, no, man, I stopped going after my bar mitzvah because I grew up learning all the Hebrew stuff and the Torah and all that shit, and had my bar mitzvah. I mean, I wasn't going to pass it up. It's a total cash grab. So I was like, right. Hell yeah, I'm going to do that. And then ultimately after that, I stopped. I just I guess I was a Jew, but I was never really a believer. And I used to get in a lot of trouble when I asked questions at Hebrew school and stuff like that. But yeah. After that, I just stopped going to synagogue. I mean, my dad still went for the high holidays and stuff like that. But I'm like, yeah, you're not dragging my ass to that shit anymore. But I figured my family would have known by then. Do you ever have any, do you guys do like Christmas and stuff like that?
Yeah, now, yeah. Although this past year, I kind of just like Christmas can kind of suck it. This last year, just kind of.
Yeah. I mean, well, I know that JWs don't really do Christmas, right? Right. We had a Jehovah's Witness family that lived down the street from me. I grew up with this kid, and when he said that they didn't celebrate Christmas or birthdays, I was like, "What? Like, what do you mean you don't? Like, so how do you get presents? Because no birthdays, no Christmas, that kind of shit, right?" So,
although my grandma is a bad witness because all the grandkids didn't grow up as witnesses, but she would still buy them Christmas presents. But at the same time, she completely believes them. It's this weird thing.
That is bizarre because I've never heard of a witness buying presents for anybody on like Christmas or birthdays even.
Yeah, she still talks to all of the kids. One of them's disfellowshipped. The others never got baptized.
Yeah.
Yep, she'll still talk to all the kids, the entire family.
Wow. That's crazy, man. Well, I mean, I'm not going to say that's crazy. That's kind of a bad way to put it. I think that's good, honestly.
Yeah.
That's that shows that even if somebody's ensconced in a belief system, they're still willing to be, a human being and understand that family still means something and not completely toss them aside. I think that's the most, probably the most hurtful shit that I've heard doing this show is when people get literally exorcised from their families. I don't understand that way of thinking, and it really breaks my heart when I hear these stories. So. Well, yeah, I guess it is what it is, and I really hope that someday some of these folks that do shit like that ultimately realize that that's not a good way of going about handling situations like that. It's horrifying. Oh, I guess this is the wife.
Well, yeah.
Because I'm like, no, they're not talking to me like that. So, when you guys do your show on the trivia stuff, what kind of topics do you guys do? I mean, I already know.
Yeah, it's all nerd topics. I added to it. So now we got basic science stuff as well, but geography, biology, but then you got things like Star Wars, Star Trek, DC comic, like you just anything nerdy. Well, we also have like music, movies.
Cool.
Yeah.
You play, don't you? Because I saw one of your recent posts about having a guitar again.
Yeah.
What's your favorite band, by the way?
Blink-182, and I'm not afraid to admit it.
You shouldn't be. I mean, they're all right. I like a lot of their tunes. I mean, my musical tastes. It's weird. I when I was young, I was like a total metalhead. Fuck everything else. But then I worked in a record store. For many, many years, I worked in a record store, and my tastes grew. It was just bizarre. Like I listened to everything almost, except I'm not a big fan of opera because that shit just drives me crazy. And I'll take the old school country over the newer stuff any day of the week. But I mean, I've been in bands almost my entire life, like in and out of them here and there. Right from I was even in a little kind of shitty kind of band when I lived in Israel for a couple of years. We did a couple of Sabbath tunes and stuff like that. By the way, that's my favorite all-time band is Black Sabbath. Just saying. The great thing is I got to meet Ozzy and Zakk Wylde one time working at the record store, which was an interesting experience. I'll say that's for sure. But the folks in the chat have heard that story multiple times, so I'm not going to go into full detail. Zakk came into the store looking all greasy, and I thought, okay, buddy, keep an eye on that guy. But he ended up buying a couple of cassettes, and he paid with his Visa or MasterCard or whatever the hell it was, and it said Zachary Philip Wilde. I'm like, whoa, wait, what? Like the Zakk Wylde? He's like, yeah, it's me. I was like, cool. Then he said that he was with Ozzy there at the muffin shop. And I'm like, I'm taking my break, Steve. And I went around and met Ozzy. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Cool little experience.
Well, my favorite band is Blink-182. Every band I've been in has been a metal band, though.
Oh, has it?
Yeah.
Like when you say metal, now we all know there are different categories of metal too, right?
We started in the early 2000s and like metalcore was really big then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's just see how many breakdowns we can stick in a song.
Yeah, for sure, right?
That's pretty much what we were going with, but yeah, it's.
Did you guys do mostly cover type stuff, or was it originals?
It was all original.
Oh, I see.
Although I take that back. We once tried to cover "Free Falling"
by Petty.
Yeah.
Oh, I used to be in a
version.
band that did that. Yeah. We did a little bit heavier version of that one myself, or we did it. Well, this is this band I was in called Unglued. This is probably in the late 90s, I think, that we did that Petty too. It's a lot of fun to do. As soon as people hear it when you're playing like at a gig or something, like we used to do back then, we used to do like outdoor gigs and shit, like big pig roasts or barbecues and shit like that with all the neighborhoods. And they hear something that they're familiar with, and they're like, "Oh, hey, I know this one." When you hear shit like that, we always try to do a cover tune like when we play. So I think if you break something like that out, you can identify with the audience. They'll, I guess, oh, hey, I know this one. And then they're more apt, I think, to listen to what you have to offer as well, because most of our tunes are all original. As a matter of fact, the opening music for the show is done by my band, my current band. So it's a little bit edgier. What was probably your favorite concert that you ever went to?
It was kind of a tie between. I went to the first Pop Disaster tour in Hershey, which was Blink-182 and Green Day.
Oh, nice.
And then it was a couple years later in Hershey again. It was who was it? It was Blink-182, Taking Back Sunday, and Jimmy Eat World.
Jimmy Eat World. Oh wow, I haven't heard that name
Yeah.
in a while. But they really only had like one or two big songs that actually made the radio. Are they still going?
Yeah, they are still going.
Wow. All right, I'll have to look for some of their newer stuff because all I remember is the stuff that they used to constantly play on the radio.
Yeah, like the middle is pretty much the only thing that made it to MTV.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually became friends with a few of the DJs at our local big radio station here called CFox, and one of the guys actually, his name's Danger. Well, his DJ name is Danger. He let us play live on the air. What they used to do is they used to bring this trailer out near the George Massey Tunnel, which is the tunnel between two areas of where I live, and they park it there and they broadcast from there for like a week. So I'm like, fuck. So I grabbed my guitar player, Will. I'm like, dude, we should go see if Danger will let us play live. And we went in there, smoked a big fatty with the guy, and he's like, "Yo, yeah, do it, man." So we got to play live we did one of our acoustic ones because it was just me and Will. So he had the guitar and he was playing it, and I did the song. That's a song that I wrote. Actually, it's kind of funny. I was sitting on the shitter reading Maclean's magazine, which is a Canadian magazine, usually politically driven sort of stuff. And it was about like a prostitution ring that had blossomed in Eastern Canada, mostly I think Toronto. But it was a group of guys that would fly over to like a lot of the Asian countries and make these lofty promises. Oh, just, if you pay a little bit of money, we can bring your kids over, set them up, and then they'll make enough money to bring you over here, and then you're in the country of freedom or whatever fucking jargon bullshit that they spewed out there. But they ended up getting all these kids into prostitution rings, and they got busted doing that, obviously. So it kind of inspired me to sort of write a song, because a lot of the kids ended up taking their own lives too, right? Because of this. It was horrible. I don't mean to bring everyone down, but it was just an explanation behind the song I wrote called Dollhouse. So, which is kind of a Spanishy acoustic-y kind of sound to it. So I think I actually have that clip somewhere where we got to play that live. And I actually got a phone call from a couple of people, like family members and friends, like, "Hey, shit, dude, I just heard you on the radio. That was really cool." I'm like, "Yeah, it was pretty cool to do that." And the only two times we'd ever had any of our music on the radio was that time, and here we go, #coins. There we go. That's the drinking game I do on that. If you hear that Mario coin noise, then you're supposed to drink. if you drink. But so it's the #. And right now I can only drink water because I'm on fucking blood thinners thanks to a blood clot I have in my leg.
I think I have a rock star.
Really? Yeah, actually those are pretty good rock stars. But yeah, so I can't drink. I mean a beer or two might be okay, but if I touch my favorite thing, which is scotch, then I'm gonna be in trouble.
I haven't actually. I drank from the age of like 21 to 21 and a half.
Really? And then you just kind of gave up on it?
Yeah, I just don't really do it.
So what's your vice then, Uhaan?
I mean, I quit smoking in 2015. Now I just have a vape. And that's about it.
You don't like smoke weed or nothing? Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck, man, I do all the bad shit. That's hilarious. What inspired you to start your channel, by the way?
Really, I just it was a topic that was irritating me at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of went with that. Like
topic?
the whole anti-mask, like just putting out complete misinformation about everything. Right, kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. I people in my life I have to deal with that sort of shit as well, including my biological sister, who's going around saying, "This is my truth." I'm like, no, you don't get your own truth. Something's either true or it's not.
Yeah.
So you don't get to pick and choose what's true, especially if it's not true. Yeah, I think she just fell down the wrong rabbit hole, and plus, I'm very convinced that she was influenced by her ex, who was very conspiratory minded. So,
Yeah, I had to come up with a new policy that if you mention a political party or anything political and then the words COVID, anything you say after that just doesn't matter.
Yeah, true enough. True enough. Yes, that's right. Anti-vaxxers are just weird. And you know what?
Yeah.
They were around even before COVID. So I don't understand that thought pattern. These people are probably, these anti-vaxxers are probably spewing out their toxic shit while they have a vaccine mark on their fucking shoulder.
Yeah.
Well, so what do you want? Smallpox, polio? Take a pick.
Yeah, what was it? It was smallpox. When I had to do some research for it, I guess we started with the smallpox vaccination back in the 1500s. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we've been doing the vaccination thing for a long time now.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, smallpox is one of the deadly ones, right? So we really, really don't want to let that shit out again. And there's been rumors apparently that they actually still have the smallpox virus around, but who knows? I'm sure they actually do in some laboratory because for research purposes and whatnot.
Yeah.
But all it takes is one crazy fucker to take that out of there. But it doesn't matter to anyone who's vaccinated against it. So no problems there. Yeah. JR. Yeah, COVID killed too many people. We need to stop now. Well, yeah, the unfortunate thing is because of the type of virus that COVID-19 is, it's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be like a flu. I really do think that we're going to end up with annual boosters. I think we're going to get, here's some of the coverage for the latest strains of the COVID, whatever.
Yeah, it really annoys me too when people are like, well, only 2% of people die. I'm like, you realize that that's 4.2 million people are dead right now. That's
right.
Like, I don't care what percentage it is.
I know they like to play off the tiny percent numbers. It's like, I don't think you know how it works.
It's like, what is it, 600? I just pulled it up quick. Like, we're at 613 right now.
613,000?
Yeah, in the United States.
Right. That died from COVID or COVID-related things.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the weird things about this particular virus is it seems to spark other shit in your body to become worse, Like I've heard the expressions like COVID toes, where people have had to have their toes amputated because somehow COVID blocked blood vessels and their toes went fucking numb. Or other weird shit like that.
And we don't even know what this thing's going to do long term yet, so we...
Exactly. And the fact that it is mutating to become more spreadable, which the new variants have shown, means it's more important now to get that fucking vaccine as soon as you can. Yeah. The vaccine will help bring that rate down huge. Because once you've been vaccinated or fully vaccinated, your chances of spreading it drop as well.
Although with the Delta, it's not looking that hopeful that that's going to be the case.
That's true. I was just actually going to get into that. The newer, easier spreadable ones are showing that may not so much, which is why they're not mandatory, of course, anymore, but why we still recommend that people wear masks, especially if you know you're going to be in places where there's a large group of folks.
Well, those mandates, they're going to be coming back real soon.
Probably.
They're starting to pop up again.
Yeah, we're having an upsurge here as well, too. And actually, I was just talking about something on this line of thought with someone earlier about the whole mask thing and how the numbers are coming up. And I said, well, yeah, the new variants spread faster. And it's like, well, sure, but won't you be protected if you're vaccinated? I'm like, well, you're not going to die. I mean, you may not even show any symptoms, right? It'll just be in you, but you could still spread that because it's more easily spreadable. So, that's why we have to continue to wear the masks. Like, they may not mandate them, or they might again, but you should wear one anyways if you're going to be around people, especially people you care about. Like, it's not that hard to figure out.
Yeah, and it's just the people that are so against the vaccine, for some reason, they got in their head that everybody's been told this thing will completely protect you. Mm-hmm. Like, no one has ever said a vaccine completely protects you from anything. Like
from the
that's
get-go,
not the
they
way
have
they work.
percentages, right? You know,
Yeah.
this one's 88% effective. This one's 92. This one's 95. You know, like,
Yeah.
but yeah, folks. Actually, no vaccines are 100%. But if they're anything over 75, your luck is probably going to be good. You're probably going to be okay.
Especially if you're like healthy on top of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to get too carried away with that because I'm really not. I mean, I just found out I got a fucking blood clot in my leg, something called DVT, which is deep vein thrombosis, and that's lethal if it's not paid attention to. So I'm now stuck, and it sucks because I'm a dedicated blood donor, and I can't do that while I'm on these pills because anticoagulants are not good if you're a blood donor.
Right.
Which really is what we should call them because they don't technically actually thin your blood, folks. They just keep your blood from coagulating. And I need to have that done right now. And they also dissolve the clots that you do have. So slowly but surely, I've been noticing the swelling in my leg going down. So they are working. And this is apparently one of the newer ones that they have a couple of years old or so. And it's one of the most effective as well. So I'm happy for that. Thank you, science.
Yeah.
Because God didn't do shit.
Yeah.
It's all part of his plan. Oh, so he put that there? Is that what's going on here, you motherfucking anyways?
Yeah. Yeah, in that case, COVID's God's fault.
That's right. He creates everything, right?
Yeah.
All the good. And he created evil, too. He even said so himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I forget what part it's in. One point, God is actually referred to as Satan.
Really?
He's the deceiver.
Wow.
I have to look it up again, but it's just this weird, like, single passage where it just...
That's bizarre.
Yeah, it's the kind of stuff I end up looking up, and how the fact that there's 2 different Goliaths in the Bible. Just like weird stuff like that.
That's cool. At least somebody's out there doing that. I don't have the time to do that kind of shit. But yeah, that's kind of cool that you found something like that because that just blows me away. I never even knew that was even a passage like that.
Yeah.
I always hear God killed more people than Satan, which is true.
Satan's the guy that's been telling the truth the whole book. Like,
yeah,
Satan didn't lie to anyone. Satan didn't trick anyone. Like, he was just straight up.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all bullshit, anyways. Well, in my opinion,
Right.
I was just watching a video before I got going with this one. A little bit before on Miss Lemon's channel. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with Miss Lemon, but it's Miss Lemon, and she's a very, very smart lady. And just on a whim, I'm like, I'd love to have you on the show. She's like, yeah, sure. Just send me a message on my Discord. So I did. So we might be seeing her on the show soon. She's a very smart lady. She's going over the Book of Enoch today, and there was a devout Christian in the chat. And I said to her, so, I can't remember what her name was, Alika or something like that. But anyways, I said, so do you believe that your God is all-knowing? She's like, yes, of course. So then he knew ahead of time that Adam and Eve were going to do what they did in the garden and the fall in the garden was going to happen. Right. Well, he may or may not have known. Well, you just said he's all-knowing. So what do you mean he may not have known? If he's all-knowing, then he set you up. Which she did. She didn't have an answer for that. Wait, what's this? What's this now? What's this? Sassy is back? Wait. If you're talking about the Sassy that I had on my show and then she went back to Christianity, if that's the Sassy you're talking about, she's been in my chat for a while. She's popped in. Oh. What's that? Oh, Mikey's here now, by the way. An all-knowing God miscounted how many legs grasshoppers has. Yeah, and he thought the bats were birds too. So,
yeah,
you can't be that all-knowing. Here's an interesting question. I actually often ask this of some of my guests. What's your favorite apologetic argument? Like when they say an argument that they were proposed to you.
I don't know. They're all just as crappy.
But some are so funny, man. Like, you got to be able to pick, like, what's the funniest one you think that you often say to yourself, why do they keep using this?
I think it's just the ones that really annoy me the most are the ones where they like the stupid, you just want to sin ones. Like they're assuming your whole motive and just like,
You hate God and you just want to sin.
yeah, it's like, well, maybe I do, but that's nothing to do with anything.
Yeah, I know. I think one of the stupidest tropes that they always use is, if we came from monkeys, why are there still monkeys? I think that one annoys the shit out of me too. But yeah,
because we are still apes. They didn't go anywhere.
oh, here we go. So we got Jason in the chat. Hello, Jason, by the way. Hi, God is all-knowing. Well, A, how do you know that? And B, how do you demonstrate that that's actually the case? But he gives us a choice. Did he give Adam and Eve a choice? Really? But even if he gave Adam and Eve a choice, which it actually says in the Bible, then how he would have already known that they were going to make the choice they were going to make. So
Right.
It's a setup.
The choice was rigged to begin with because they didn't know the consequence of the choice.
That's right. Well, no, he said that they would be they'd be punished if they touched it, but he didn't go into what the punishment was going to be. However, you call it free will, you say, Jason. If God wanted me to love him, he would have treated me a hell of a lot better, or he would have made my life a hell of a lot better. That's for sure. I don't believe in gods, Jason. I don't believe in any of them. And hundreds of thousands have been proposed all throughout human history. I don't believe in any of them. I think they're all made up. I think that man created God, not the other way around. Well, man created all the gods, not the other way around.
Because we created God in our image.
And God, so God knew from the beginning that he was going to send Jesus? Well, then what's the point? If he knew that he was going to create beings that were going to go against his word, and he'd have to kill and send his own son, to be killed, what kind of an asshole does that? That's like mob boss mentality.
Yeah, it's the whole...
No, it's not my choice, Jason. I'm unconvinced. People don't choose their beliefs. You're either convinced of something or you're not. That's how it works. Right?
Yeah.
I believe in Neil's hair. Thanks, Amanda. Hey, Uhaan's got some fucking awesome hair too, so we are the hair gods.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mikey does too, but he hides it under his hat all the time.
If I had to pick, Lemmy is God, so we can go with that.
Lemmy, rest in peace, brother. Yeah, shit. I saw them once. I was able to see them once. I saw them in Israel, actually. And it's still one of the loudest shows I've ever been to. Yeah. Sorry, Jason, but, by the way, Jason, you don't actually have to respect people's beliefs. Just so you know. Beliefs are merely ideas, and ideas don't necessarily always deserve respect. Like, I'm pretty sure you don't believe, or you don't respect the beliefs of, like, the Nazis or ISIS or something, or even Jim Jones, right? I'm pretty sure you probably don't, if you know who Jim Jones is. Pretty sure you don't respect any of their beliefs. But I respect people, not necessarily what they believe.
Yeah, definitely.
No, being convinced or not convinced isn't a choice. You're either convinced or you're not.
Yeah, I was saying this to someone yesterday. They were trying to tell me that the belief is a choice. I'm like, all right, well, believe you have $39 million in your bank.
Yep.
Choose to believe that.
Yep. See how quickly that turns into a reality.
Yeah. The response was, well, I can't. I don't make that much money. I'm like, wait, you mean you have to demonstrate you have that money in the bank?
You just tell people just to have faith that you do.
Yeah. Just believe it.
Why are there still women? Yeah, the one I like to use in the if we came from monkeys one. Well, if we came from dirt, then why is this still dirt? Duke Bonanza has showed up. Hello, Duke. Been a while, my friend. I hope you are well. Okay, then you respect my right to not believe. I appreciate that, Jason. And honestly, you're probably a good guy. I'm probably sure we could sit and have a beer and have a few laughs. I'm sure, but I'm unconvinced of God claims until it can be demonstrated to be real. I'm just thoroughly unconvinced. And I not only that, I reject scriptures because they absolutely break the laws of nature and physics as we know them. The day-to-day laws of physics and nature. A person cannot come back from death after 3 days. When cell death occurs, there is no reanimating the body. I don't care if you wave 150 gazillion magic wands. It's not going to happen. So that's a condemning point right there. And when you look at the different gospels of the Luke and Mark and John and all them, how they contradict each other and what actually happened on that day, that's another nail in the coffin, so to speak, for me. And I was actually raised Jewish, born to Christians, but raised Jewish. Faith is an excuse, dude. Faith is believing in something without evidence. And I'm not going to believe in things that don't have any evidence to support them. It just, I try to be a free thinker. I try to be a skeptic. I try to believe things that are demonstrably true. And I'm not talking like mundane shit like, well, how do you prove that I didn't have a tuna fish sandwich last Friday? I don't care if you have a tuna fish. Like, you can say you did, and I'll be like, yeah, great. I had pulled pork sandwich, so big deal. But stuff that matters, like if you fall into a belief system that tells you to hate specific other humans, you're in the wrong belief system.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I don't understand what the point of going to school for theology is. You're arguing over a story. I could do the exact same thing for the DC universe, and that probably would be a little more useful.
Yeah.
Because it's based in current time.
Sure it is.
I've never been able to wrap my mind around that part. Why are we arguing over a book?
Makes them feel better? I don't know.
I guess.
I know this book and I have papers to prove it. Yeah, but your book is nonsense, so who gives a shit?
Yeah. I mean, if we're just going with that, I got a Green Lantern ring over here and I'm about to...
Uh-oh. Looks like Duke's trying to start a war.
Marvel for...
Well, at least... one thing I will say for Marvel is instead of using, names of cities like Gotham and Metropolis, they actually use... New York City. Spider-Man lives in New York City.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. It even says in the book that he lived in New York City, or still does.
Well, I mean, the Bible made up cities, so DC still counts.
It doesn't matter, Jason, if an account in the Bible said that Jesus did not rise from the dead. He could not have. That's the thing. It's not whether he did or not. He couldn't have. I'm sorry, but it's just not possible.
Superman rose from the dead. Does that mean we have a Superman?
Yeah, that's right. He came back from being killed by what's his name? Fuck, getting old sucks.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah, I even have the black sealed
Doomsday.
Doomsday.
Yeah.
Yes. You can visit Spider-Man's house. Yeah, that's right. There's more evidence for Spider-Man than there is for God, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Well, not really, but you know what I mean. All right. People see things differently. Of course they are. But here's the thing, Jason. And I mean this respectfully. Does it matter to you if the things you believe are true? Because it matters to me. I don't want to believe in things that are false. I don't want to believe in things that are potentially harmful. Because your beliefs inform your actions, and your actions have consequences, my friend. So,
those things can really.
You have to work by faith, Jason, because there is no evidence. Sorry.
No, yeah, that's just all around. Just Christianity has just damaged more people than it's helped. You have these kids growing up thinking that they are completely worthless. If they are not this exact cookie cutter thing, there's something wrong with them.
You're born broken.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's ridiculous. The whole concept of passing down the quote unquote sins of your father for fucking, what is it, 7 generations?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I'm sorry, why? What the hell do I care about what my great grandfather did that got him in trouble? You know, like, that wasn't me, and I'm not even linked to him really, except by bloodline.
It's like not even the sins of your father matter. What matters are, you.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. My sweet
Unbelievable.
caramel lover. I don't even know what the hell he's talking about. When you tell a child when they're born that they're born broken and they need to be fixed, and for some reason you have the cure, in my mind, that is a form, although not, physical, but is a form of mental abuse to children. When children grow up believing that they are sinners, which is ridiculous to begin with, then I'm sorry, but that's,
Well, just
that's
how does it make
horrifying
it?
to me?
How does it make it? Just imagine that you're a teenager, right? And you're just kind of discovering yourself, and it turns out, hey, you're part of the LGBTQ plus community.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to beat you down just because of that.
Yeah.
There's something wrong with you. You are committing sin, even though this is just who you are. I mean, how is that good for, someone that's trying to go through that in their own head?
That's right. And although I don't really agree with what is said here, is Jason Neil, we inherit a sinful nature. No, we don't. We're born blank slates. Anything that you would consider to be sinful is learned behavior, and it's going to be learned from the people around you. Okay, we're not born inherently evil. We're born inherently neutral. Okay. Hey, Josh. So nobody has to tell you how to wrong. Well, yeah, actually they do. We learn the difference between right and wrong as we grow up. Now, we can choose to be wrong and shitty people, or we can choose to be decent human beings. Right? I'm not going to condemn somebody because they are different from me. But the scriptures teach you to do that. And I think that's horrifying. They teach you to kill people of the LGBTQIA plus community.
Yep.
And that's horrifying to me, because they're human
beings.
Man
lied with another man.
Yeah. Although apparently that was misinterpreted. Apparently it was when a man lies with a boy child or something like that.
Isn't that the whole fornication thing or something? It's about temple priests and little boys or something.
Yeah. Don't even get me started on that shit. Like that shit. I'll blow a gasket if I have to talk about the whole thousands of children that have been molested or raped by clergy in general, because they're not just the Catholic Church did that.
Oh no, yeah. I actually have a different channel that no one really knows about, that I haven't updated in years, but it's about the child abuse in the JWs.
Okay.
And that whole super messed up kind of, yeah. It's not just the Catholics.
Yeah, no, I know that. I'm not sure what he's referring to that isn't true. Says that's not true. That is under the old law. Under the old law, really? You're talking about the law that Jesus tells his Christian followers to follow?
Not
follow the laws of my Father? Right? All 816 of them, I think he has in there, including don't wear mixed fabrics. Don't eat shellfish or cloven-hoofed animals. Dude, I know what the Old Testament says. I grew up with it. I also know what the New Testament says. I read it a couple of times. Reading those books is part of the reason that drove me towards non-belief to begin with. Because mind you, I was really never a full-on believer anyways. But Old Covenant, New Covenant? No. See, that's a cop-out bullshit. Jesus himself says to follow his Father's laws.
Not a jot or tittle will change until all have come to pass.
That's it. That's it right there. That's right. And Jesus was supposed to come with a sword. He wasn't supposed to be this peaceful guy.
I come to bring sword, not peace, but a sword to
That's
put
right.
like families against each other, basically.
Well, I think Mikey's here with us now. I think we should grab him in to hear, and let's hear what Mikey has to say on some of these things.
Yeah, let's hear what Mikey has to say about.
That's
Oh,
you.
sorry. I shouldn't mock you.
Mikey,
and then get brought in.
Uhaan, Mikey.
Hello,
Hey.
Uhaan. Sorry, I'm late. I got the Mini Cooper down here as fast as I could. Record time, by the way. Fastest I've ever gotten home from work. Thank you, Country Roads.
Well, small cars have less wind resistance. So,
And that thing, I'll talk about it in the after party. But I have a complaint about the Mini Cooper, and it's ridiculous and hilarious and very funny. But Uhaan, since I missed most of the deconversion, what did you deconvert?
well, there was none.
Oh,
There was none.
oh.
I've been secular since birth.
Well, then, did any? I can think of a question on the fly. Thanks for asking. Has any spiritual religion type thing ever appealed to you, like Buddhism or Taoism or anything like that?
That's actually a good question. 'Cause
No,
I got
not
duped
really.
into a few.
Like, I'm more likely to believe Harry Potter is real than I am any of these religions.
Hey, Harry Potter is legit.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Hmm.
That's I was Wiccan for a while, dude. So I was all about, mind you. I think I'll be honest. I think I got into it because the girl I was dating at the time was Wiccan and pretty hot, and I was like, oh sure, I'll do that. She goes, oh yeah, we got to try sex magic. I'm like,
Yes,
game.
please.
I'm game.
Couldn't hear you over the sound of my pants unzipping. Can you repeat that last thing you said? It might have been sex magic. Might have been.
Chaos magic. Well, no, not chaos magic. Magic is in general is pretty chaotic too. Well, it's not even real. So I mean, that's something else that breaks the laws of physics.
Well, I
Just
mean,
like
I'll try
all
it.
the stories.
If my girl's like, hey, I got this sex magic I want to try out because I'm Wiccan now, I'm like,
Go for it.
yeah, we should test this thoroughly.
I guess the only thing that's actually been interesting has been like those monks that do that weird stuff, like channel their body heat.
Yeah,
Like they
what?
yeah. It's a thing.
Yeah, they can
It's a weird
like
thing.
they meditate that hard that they move their body heat around to their hands, and it's just weird.
Like a dude will just be sitting there like in a room that's like way too cold, and his body heat, instead of decreasing like all the rest of us, will go up and then just plateau. And I'm like, what the figgity fuck is this? My car heat doesn't work all the time. That could be useful.
But then again, there's nothing supernatural about that. It's still biological.
It's physiology, something in their physiology that they've tapped into.
Yeah.
It's shaking their pancreas or something is making them hot. Teach me your ways.
If they make a new Jesus movie, he thinks you should go for the part.
I mean, I'm closer to the actual color of Jesus than you see.
Say it again for the people in the back. Fucking blonde hair, blue eyed Jesus in the middle of the fucking Middle East.
In the Middle East.
Get the fuck out of here. That's how I knew shit was fucked up. I was like, how the hell did they get Christopher Reeves as Jesus? What the hell?
Okay, here's something else I want to address now. Jason, you keep coming up with these interesting little things. God is a supernatural God. Okay, Jason, sure. Now demonstrate that the supernatural is real. Because there's no evidence for the supernatural, period. All knowledge is limited, Jason, just so you know that. It's limited always and always will be limited because that's what knowledge is. It's something that keeps expanding as we learn new things. All knowledge is limited. You cannot have infinite knowledge.
Unless
I
you're
don't
me.
care. Well, no, you can't. It's not possible.
Yeah, I know he was Jewish. That's why I said I was closer to that skin color because I'm a very light olive color.
One of the green olives, not the black olives.
That's true.
Jesus wasn't. Well, I'm not even convinced there actually was a Jesus of any kind.
Kalamata olives.
Jason, I don't use anything. I don't look for truth at all using faith, because faith is an unreliable method to find truth. Sorry. You'd have to demonstrate that the supernatural was real, and then you'd have to demonstrate that there was actually a God in that supernatural. No one has ever done that throughout human history.
There's a big, who's got that cash prize going? Isn't there a cash prize for that kind of shit? For if you can prove, like psychics or supernatural shit.
James Randi, the Randi Foundation, had a $1 million cash prize for anyone that could demonstrate that the paranormal or supernatural existed. Thousands of people tried. Nobody was ever able to prove it.
It's your time to shine, Jason.
Psychics, mediums, all the astrology, card readers, all that shit is 100% garbage, and it's been debunked repeatedly.
Jason, just prove it. Win the $1 million. Take me out to dinner because I'm the one that told you about it. And there you go. And
what he did on the cross is he died. What does that have to do with anything?
And if you're supernatural, how you die from a spear?
Well, no, hang on, Mikey. He took human form.
So, just saying.
That at that point, he had human vulnerabilities.
Oh,
after God raped his mom, I mean.
Yeah. There was no consent there. Well, an angel came down to tell her that she was about to get raped. But I don't know if she said yay or nay. So.
Yeah, what do you say when an 18 billion-eyed flying thing with wings just shows up like, and this is going to happen? It's like, oh, God, whatever you say, man.
Put this piece of wood between your teeth.
No, I won't do it.
I'm just reminded of Rosemary's Baby now.
Nice one. Wow. Well, fellas, what do you say? I mean, this is the kind of fun we can have. Oh, I just got my reminder that I will be appearing on Captain Dadpool's show tomorrow. Just FYI, guys. So if you're unfamiliar with Captain Dadpool, head over to his channel and give him a sub, and then you'll get notified when I pop on there for a spell with Mr. Captain Dadpool.
That guy is the worst.
Oh, I know. It's 6 p.m. My time. So
he's such a pain. With all of his jokes and his insight, it's nauseating.
I know. I say we get into more of that nauseating shit and invite him into the after party. What do you think?
Yeah, then he can hear all the stuff Uhaan was saying about him. Because it definitely wasn't me.
Jason, you're talking to non-believers. We don't care what the Bible says. What the Bible teaches is irrelevant to us because we can demonstrate that things written in the Bible are not true. There was no Eden. There was no Genesis. There was no global flood. There was no Exodus out of Egypt. Like, we know these things to be a fact. I'm sorry. You're still entitled to believe that they could be true, but I'm sorry, it's not. You don't get plants before the sun. It doesn't work that way. You can't fit that many animals on a ship and not be dead within the first 8 hours from methane poisoning. It doesn't work that way.
Oh my God. Trying to separate like the lions and the gazelles, it'd be impossible.
Well, they have answers for that too. I've heard many different ones. Like he put them all to sleep, or he shrunk them down, I heard.
Like, stop
really?
it.
I know. It's like, what about all the fish in the sea? He didn't bring any of them onto the ark, and they all would have died. Like all the plants on the planet, all the fish in the sea, every creature in the sea, well, except for jellyfish and brackish water fish, they probably would have survived. But all the rest of them would be done. There wouldn't be any fish left.
No, they held their breath.
How?
The fish held their breath. They took big gulps of salt water, and then they held their breath until the salt
what about
came
the
back.
freshwater fish?
Also,
there's freshwater and saltwater would have mingled and made a brackish sort of water.
Well,
which
see,
would have
that's
killed
the
the species that aren't able to live in that.
See, the thing is, Neil, today our sea is not as salty as it used to be because of the flood.
Bullshit.
I would almost respect that as an answer more than, well, whatever. Like, like they don't even attempt to answer. Like,
Yeah,
okay,
magic.
all this water. All they just hit me with the Harry Potter spell, expecto patronum, as opposed to saying this is how the water maintain its salinity. Or is that demon worship? Measuring the salt content in water, like that's a thing.
Okay, somebody. All right, sorry, Robert, but I'm not going to fall for your horseshit tropes. You're a troll. Somebody out there.
Execute Order 66.
Perfect.
I'm dead ass. That's what it's called. You tell them execute order, I'll get them. Hey, you little buddy, I got you.
Get rid of that trash. Time to take out the garbage. See, at least Jason isn't a dick about his beliefs. Like, come on, dude.
I don't have many pleasures in life, but booting people the fuck out of here is fucking delightful.
Here's a question for Jason. See, well, Robert here claims to be a believer, but he also believes the earth is flat. What about you, Jason? Do you think the earth is flat? It does say it is in the Bible, by the way, and that there's a firmament over top, but we know that's not there. So we somehow magically flew through it when we got out into space. So anyway.
No, NASA's the devil, bro.
Yeah, we know you're a flat earther, Robert. We know you're literally, I don't know how anyone in today's day and age could be a flat earther, honestly.
I thought Flat Earth died last year.
Yeah, so did I. I don't know. They refuse to understand that their arguments have been debunked and refuted repeatedly by people who actually know what they're talking about when it comes to that kind of thing.
Dude, anybody with a fucking eyeballs.
Yeah.
Anybody with eyeballs can tell that the earth is round. Just got to know what you're looking for.
Yep.
They can watch a 14-hour, what's it called? Mockumentary on YouTube. But I'm like, hey, did you look outside today? And they're like, I'm not going to look on the outside of my fucking house. Why would it? I proved the earth was flat by not going outside.
I think my favorite one was Uranism when he did that light test. When he did it with the two pieces, like he would like 2 miles apart or something. And he shone the light through. And then when it was like way above where it was supposed to be, and his only response was, huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then he later said, oh, they fucking edited it, man. They edited it.
Yeah, no, they didn't.
It's like, edited what? It working?
He was a producer of that fucking movie. So how the hell why would he let anyone edit it?
Nah, man, it was the Netflix people, man. The big globe, man. Fuck out of here.
Big globe.
I'm gonna start fucking being a flat earther online just so I can get all their dumbasses money. Because they're paying these people. Like if you ever, and I don't recommend it, if you ever go like look at one of their streams, the super chats are insane. I could use some super chat money like that.
Yeah, no kidding. Me too.
Yeah, fucking if y'all are just gonna make it rain because I say some stupid shit, is there anything else you want me to believe in? Like koala bears are actually dangerous? Like what else do I have to make up?
Doesn't the Bible also teach that it's being like held up by like turtles or something stupid?
Yes. Fucking turtles.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, some of my illustrious chat members could find those verses and pop them in there for us. Because I remember it from at least from the Old Testament anyways, where it talks about the earth being a plane, a flat plane that's being held up by some, I can't remember what it was, but yeah, it's something like turtles. That's where the expression turtles all the way down comes from. So yeah, it's got 4 pillars.
I've never heard that
turtles
before.
And
I've never heard turtles all the way down.
Yep, that's an expression.
Maybe I thought they were talking about just like Ninja Turtles.
No, it's an expression
in my pajamas
for circular argumentation. It's turtles all the way down. People, the circular argument, well, I believe the Bible's true because it says it's true. That's a circular argument, right? So anyway.
Looks like there's a Native American creation belief that it's the Earth's on one giant sea turtle.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, there's lots.
I think that would be
cool.
With
elephants too. Like there's a Hindu belief that there's a bunch of elephants under there as well.
I mean, I think it would be cool if that was true. It's not, but it would be cool. I'm not saying it's not cool. Don't get me wrong, but
my favorite funny answer to that. Hey, come on, man! If the Earth was flat, cats would have pushed everything off the edge by now.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way. Fucking small continents would be gone.
Yeah. What about continental drift? Right.
Anything
Eventually
smaller than Italy would be off the edge.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I do like the space turtle idea. Just one giant space turtle.
Yeah, that's. Cool.
I bet it's that turtle from Finding Nemo. Crash.
Yeah, he's the best. Too.
You were like, whoa. I was like, whoa. You were like, whoa.
Dad, look what I did. All right, little dude.
I touched the butt. What a great movie.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up and get into an after party. We talk about all this in the after party.
No after show. Let's just all watch Finding Nemo.
No, we're not gonna fuck. We can do that on our own time, mister.
I'm watching it during the after show.
It's a great movie. But,
it's so funny.
It is.
Oh, it is. But let's have a little bit of an after party. First and foremost, Uhaan, thank you so much for being my guest today. Even though you didn't have a deconversion story, I think we covered some interesting shit. So yeah, we got to interact with the chat, which is always good to do every once in a while, I think. Mikey, thanks for everything you do, my friend.
Thank you, sir.
You're the foundation underneath this calamity that is my show.
I'm the turtle. I'm the turtle. Mikey Pham and the Sea Turtle, baby. Changing my name on Twitter right now.
Jason, thank you for stopping by and touting your case in the chat there. Unfortunately, I just don't believe like you do, my friend. But
good luck, Jason.
I can still call you brother, even though our beliefs are different in that respect. You're still a human being, and I can still respect you as one. All right, guys, don't forget that Randolph and I are coming out with our own call-in show at some point. It'll be called True North Talk because, we're Canadian and shit. So you can head over to www.truenorthtalk.ca and learn more about the show. And it'll also link you to our channel so you can go ahead and sub, and you'll be notified when we do start doing our show. Also, thanks to my amazing patrons. It's because of you guys I'm able to keep doing this. Your support means the world to me, and I thank you for that. Also, one of the newer hosts of the revamped and relaunched.
My mouse is going crazy. Sorry.
The revamped and relaunched nonprofit show, which is an ACA product that runs between Talk Heathen and the Atheist Experience on Sundays at 3 p.m. Central Time. So tune in there, and you can see. I haven't been on in a while because of my deep vein thrombosis, and of course the troubles with my mom being in the hospital for the past 4 months. But there is light at the end of the tunnel, so they say. So head over to the YouTube channel there, and you'll be notified when those shows go live as well. And also the last Saturday, except for this month, because Andy has a commitment for a family member, so we won't be doing a show, but we'll reschedule it for another day. And I can't drink right now anyway, so I will be drinking, but it'll be it'll be liquid water. Well, water is like, what am I talking about? Anyway, but yeah,
I'll be drinking gaseous water.
I'll be drinking water vapor. But anyways, yeah, we usually go at 2 p.m. Pacific time on the final Saturday of every month. So it's over on the Laughing in Disbelief channel, and it's myself and Andy and Seamus. Seamus is one of the members of the Free Thought Prophets show. So head over there, and if you're in for watching a bunch of drunk atheists make fun of shit, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. So head over to that channel and give him a sub if you haven't already, and you'll be notified when we do that show as well. Plus, Andy does a lot of really cool shit on his show, like in the morning. He's got a morning show.
The Annoyed Cat Show is very good.
The Annoyed Cat shows, exactly. And thanks everyone in the chat. I hope you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Jason, my apologies to you if everyone got a little hard on you. Wait. Phrasing. Yeah, Archer's awesome. But anyway, no hard feelings, my friend. And Captain Dadpool, I will send you a link for sure. Anyone else who wants to get involved in the after party, please send myself or Mikey a message, and we will drop a link for you so you can hang out and chat with the guest of honor tonight, Uhaan Rodric. And I will fix the thumbnail because for some reason my autocorrect shit decided to add a K at the end of it. So I've already redone the titles, but I do have to fix that thumbnail, and I will.
Can I say one thing before we go?
I don't know. Can you?
No.
Yeah. Go ahead.
For the after party, I'm going to make a push for everyone to watch on Twitch who is able. We're only missing a couple of followers and some regular concurrent viewers. So if you guys are going to come and hang out in the after party and you normally hang out on YouTube, consider going over to Twitch this time just for tonight. So we can get those numbers up and then he can get monetized. It probably only take us one night of doing it. So go over and
my Twitch up.
Yeah, everybody go over and follow. It's twitch.tv/Neil the 604 or 604 Atheist. Yes. Twitch.tv/604 Atheist. Just head on over there. Watch the after party on that one for tonight so we can go ahead and get that monetization thing out of the way and start. We can do emotes. You can have Neil emotes.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, I still gotta have some done for this so I can have members.
Arden's gonna make them and we can use them for both. Arden's gonna make them and we can use them for both.
Arden, oh, she is gonna make them.
Mm-hmm. We just gotta let her know what exactly we need so she can start drawing them up.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Jason, for your well wishes. Well, you can pray for her, but I don't believe in intercessory prayer. It's already been demonstrated by science to not actually be a thing. So, well, no better than chance, we'll say. I think one of the favorite experiments they did was when they told 3 different groups. One they told they were being prayed for, one they told they could be, and one they said they were not being prayed for. And the group that turned out the worst was the one that was being told that they were being prayed for. The other 2 were around the usual results.
Mm-hmm. That false hope, man. Shit sucks.
They attributed it to performance anxiety. Actually, they knew they were well. Then shit. I hope I do get better because that'll mean prayer is real. It's some sort of performance anxiety type thing. Anyway, not one heroes. Well, that's you, right? All right. Yeah, at least better. Yeah, lots of pressure. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. That probably didn't do well for their overall health as well, because pressure can do that to you. All right, guys, that's it. We're going to get out of here and get into the after party. We'll be taking a bit of a break so I can go have a quick smoke and make my DVT even worse. But until then, guys, like I always say at the end of these shows, like the late, great Christopher Hitchens once said, it's called faith because it's not knowledge. And we'll see you guys next time.
What's on